Wow, wow.
Wow, chicka, wow, wow. Why don't we have that music?
My daughter says that.
Because I can't touch shit.
Well, we've asked you for music 700 times. This is what we're relegated to.
This is dollar store Foo Fighters.
I agree. Actually, it might be $5 Foo Fighters, which isn't a bad band.
$2.49 Foo Fighters.
Oh my goodness. One of these days we're going to get new intro music and it's going to be wild. It's
low-key,
not going to be Goose and it's not going to be Turnstile.
It could certainly
Then again,
be
it could be Goose. I wouldn't be offended by that if you got their permission to use their music.
What about you would be offended if I used Turnstile?
I feel like Turnstile is a little bit too hard.
There's some like chill songs. Do you know this band? Turnstile?
Thank the Lord.
Okay, come on.
Thank the Lord. Anyway, if you guys don't already know, we are back. We are back.
We are back.
Anyway.
I haven't been on in since,
all the normal OG people.
Since Nam, dude. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I think you too.
I was on last week. No, was it last week? 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Was I on 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
I think it's probably been 3.
It's been way longer than that.
I forget what I've been up to.
You also weren't at the trolley tour this past weekend.
Okay,
so
and you've
that.
known for months. I don't want to hear it.
It was offensive, and you missed a really great experience.
You're offensive. All right.
So
you're offensive.
The trolley tour, for everybody that doesn't know, is a down payment assistance kind of guidance, if you will, for buyers that are looking to buy in Baltimore, in and around the city. But there's also a grant program that is the big attraction to the trolley tour. They give away $25,000 grants, which will be announced in, I think, 2 weeks from today, which is very exciting.
And it's $25,000 grants for people listening, not $25,000 grants.
Well, right, not $25,000 grants.
Not 25,
unlimited
it's
amounts.
25.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying?
5,000 20 times.
5,000 20 times. They're actually giving away $100,000 for anybody that wants it. But they do this 3 times a year. We are premier Spartners. We are premier sponsors / partners. That's how I got to Spartners. I do like that word.
I like that a lot.
Spartner, right? Let's sell it to the Spartan race real fast. At any rate, so it was very well attended. It was over at Johns Hopkins Eastern Campus, and that was a great event. So we had a lot of people show up, and I know, we're excited for the people that we connected with while we were there. What were you doing this weekend that you weren't at the trolley tour?
I was up in Philly, dude.
Oh, yeah?
I saw Goose.
You saw Goose?
Do you know this band?
Yeah.
Goose. Have you ever heard this band, Goose?
No, I know a guy who calls himself Goose.
Even better.
Okay.
I love this man already. So
Christian's
Christian's a Grateful Dead fanatic.
Okay.
Right, like a Philly fanatic, but a Grateful Dead version. And then Grateful Dead died.
Okay.
And then Goose came alive.
He's making things up, but for lack of a better term, yeah, sure. We'll say that.
There we go.
Goose, bunch of young dudes from like Connecticut, drummers from Vermont, I believe, and they're just a jam band. And they came to Philly, went up to Philly for the weekend with one of our Spartners, Jeff Bisker.
Spartners.
With Goosehead, and explored Philly for a bit. We went to this place called Victory Brewing, which is like downtown Philly. This is the first time. I've only been to Philly 3 times in my life. One was for a field trip to see the Liberty Bell in elementary school, maybe. And then I went to Philly last year. Didn't get to explore as much. This time I went to Philly and I actually enjoyed it. When I went last year, I was just like, this is like trash. Sorry, Philly people, if you're listening.
I'm not sorry, to be honest with you.
But then I went to downtown Philly. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I stayed on the outskirts before, and I was like,
have you been to Philly?
Probably as much as you have.
Okay.
So the way I describe Philly for anybody that doesn't know, Philly's like a real city, and Baltimore is like the little brother city.
I was gonna say we're related in
very,
ways.
very similar.
Same
like
accent.
similar style,
Same
similar
accent.
location, similar like just I don't know everything that Philly has, Baltimore has, just at like a smaller scale.
Well, I would even go to say that I think Baltimore would, in ways, aspire to be Philly.
I think Baltimore would aspire to be any of the top 20 cities in the country.
Okay, well, yeah, I can agree with that and get behind it. But we went to, again, downtown. Really, really cool. I had never seen downtown Philly like that. This brewery was just like in the middle of the city, had like 2 or 3 floors, a balcony that overlooked kind of parts of the city, so you could hang outside. Really neat. And then we were a 10-minute Uber ride, maybe 15 minutes to the Performing Arts Center over in... actually, I don't even know what neighborhood that is, but Caught Goose, super cool venue. You can see the skyline of Philly from the lawn, but we had pit tickets, so I was literally one away from the rail. Like,
wow.
This front of the table is the rail. I'm right here.
Literally, I have zero care in the world for
He doesn't
live
care
music at all.
And stand up. That's why he has very terrible opinions about them. So
rude.
no.
Anyway, how we
No.
got on the stand-up topic, we have a guest here today. Bobby, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Bobby Romadka from here, Baltimore. I'm a career coach for teenagers and young adults.
Awesome.
Pretty simple.
Well, thank you for joining us
Super
today.
Thanks
simple.
for having me.
How did you end up here?
In this space with you,
Yes.
my friend Kate was supposed to be here with me.
Who, by the way, don't be offended, but someone called you Katie. They will go unnamed,
me.
but alas. Anyway.
Yeah, we did the podcast here a month back, 2 months back, and we were supposed to do another group thing here, and then she got too busy.
Yeah. Right.
Had to be there for that.
Yeah, and it was funny because when we booked this, y'all had sent me the questionnaire, and Kate texted me and said, "Hey, fill this out." So I actually was just like, blip, 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 filled it out real quick.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize it was like that big of a deal. And then she was like, "Oh, I'm not going."
Yeah,
So it's
she's
just
like,
gonna
"Oh,
be
I'm not
you."
going to be there, right?"
It's
Like,
gonna be you.
yeah, right.
And
Has Kate been on the podcast?
No.
That was
Never.
supposed to be it. And I texted Liv and I was like, "Can I get that questionnaire back?" Because I just kind of,
Ran
can
through
I
it.
cuss on this?
Yeah.
I just
My
kinda
aunt will yell at
bullshitted
you, but she will not yell at me anymore because I don't curse on here.
But yeah, and then here I am, guys.
Hell
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
man. So going back to the stand-up stuff, this was a not previous life, but earlier in your life, you were a stand-up comedian for a bit. How did you get into that?
Yeah, so Nut Street Comedy, that's the name. Oh, I'm so glad you just triggered the, because we were in Florida over the weekend, and my best friends and I were hanging out, and I was like, I could not remember the name of the club I started at because they changed it. So it's now Dead Crow Comedy. Shout out Timmy Sherrill. But it started as Nut Street Comedy in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was going to school for theater, and two of my buddies, they dared the three of us to do stand-up, and Nut Street was like the only comedy club in town. So I think this was in the summer.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was in the summer. Did it come up?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at like the history of
Yep.
Nut Street Comedy.
And so I did stand up there and got the bug and fell in love with it.
That's cool.
And then did it every Thursday night for open mic. And then about 2 years into it, I was in my senior year. I started getting a lot better. And then I started opening for some major headliners touring through, one of them being Mark Norman.
Yeah.
And then I went out, I got drunk with Mark Norman that night in Wilmington, North Carolina. Comedy, that's Mark. And I said, "Hey man, like I really love this. Like, what should I do?"
Oh, yeah,
He's
he's
like,
really funny.
He's like, "Yeah."
He reminds me of like
I opened with, and then I got drunk with him. And
That's a vibe. So a little thing about me, I don't know anything about like comedians or artists or singers or nothing. Like I just kind of, I like that, right? And then out of my sight, out of mind. Mark Norman is really funny.
he was awesome, man. We had a great, and we hung out. We went to all these different bars, just him and I. So, and to me, this is the first time I ever like told this story publicly.
Oh, he's coming to Magoobies.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
it's his next.
That's so,
That's so
hey, Mark,
funny.
You're coming, hey, all right, this is was it free publicity? There you go.
Yeah, right.
And we're hanging out, and I said, "Man, I love doing this. And what should I do?" He said, "Move to New York." And so I was graduating in May. So I graduated, went home back here. I bartended for all summer, saved up a couple grand, moved to New York, did the whole starving artist thing up there.
Well, how long
Damn.
did you do that for? What was that like?
Not long, dude. So I burned myself out very hard. So got to New York. Everyone I knew told me, you got to do like 3 to 5 open mics a night, every night.
A night?
3 to
So
5.
do the math
a
on that.
night?
Well, so how long were your like? How long would your
Any place you would go to, anywhere between 1 minute to 5 minutes.
Okay, so
Right.
then you're like 5 minutes at one spot, but then you probably hang for a few, and then like you bounce to the next spot. So it probably takes.
And you would do everything by geographic locations. You're like, okay, I'm on the Lower East Side here. I'm going to try to hit, these 4. And then there's ones up on here. There's ones in Queens. There's one in Brooklyn. So you would try to.
Would you
plan it out.
like pitch the same skit? You only have 5 minutes.
Yeah, but
or less.
You're always working on your set and different jokes and all that. But yeah, you're working on material, and then over the course of like the time that I was there, I had like a nice decent set. But what happened was, and this was something I learned about myself, I'm very obsessive. And when there's a goal and something I want to get good at, I go all in.
Yeah.
And I push all fun away. And this is something I've got better at, but I push fun away and I'm like all in.
Yeah.
So I'm in New York, doing the coolest thing ever, but I didn't give myself the opportunity to enjoy New York.
Yeah.
So I was just burning myself out left and right. And I didn't know how to not work.
Yeah.
So I left there probably after, I don't know, it wasn't a long time, like 8 months. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And also I hated the city. I like grass.
Yeah, New York doesn't have much of that.
Vibes.
I just went back up
Also
there.
a hater of New York City.
Yeah, I like grass and not like I don't want to walk to a park.
Yeah.
To see that. But so I did that, and I lived in LA at one point. Tried it out there, and then what happened was I took like a year or two off and started doing it more around here, but on my terms.
Okay.
Not the advice of somebody else.
I would assume that's a little bit more enjoyable.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like going back to the burnout thing. I feel like real estate, like say parts of me and Mike are kind of conditioned to like work. And for me, like at some point I just get very, very frustrated, but like I can get by for a very long time. But then there's that like breaking point where it's like, I want to fucking leave everything. And then like, I'm done. I don't want to talk to anybody for like a couple of days. It's been a while since I've gotten to that extreme of a point, but I feel like, again, like being in that grind mode, it can be very, there's good and bad that'll come from it, right? But it's very easy to get burnt out if you don't have that time for yourself, if you don't do things that really provide you like that way to kind of come back down, I guess, you know, and enjoy.
Yeah, and especially in comedy, like it's like you can't.
I feel like you're always under pressure too, in a way where it's like, ooh, did they like it? Did they not like it?
Well,
and there's like more of like a mental game behind it than there might be in other.
But you were asking me about material, right? Like, am I doing the same material all the time? You know, comedy is you are commenting on what's happening around you. And if you're doing the same thing every single day, for me, this isn't for everyone. Like Mark and Stan Morrell and all those guys, they did that. They were doing 5 to 10 a night sometimes, from what they told me or whatever.
That's nuts.
And for them it worked. For me, it was almost like a noose around my neck where I couldn't breathe and see outside and think creatively. So it ended up, like I said, just ended up burning myself out.
Was Burr up there at the time, or did he move out of New York by
No,
then?
but I have a funny story about Burr. He was gone, but man, you're bringing back good memories now.
I love me some comedy.
The first or second week I was there, I did this mic and I met 2 aspiring comics. One, her name was Hannah. The other one is Alex. Oh, Alex, what's your last name? Can't remember his last name. He eventually got on Live at the Apollo.
No shit.
Damn.
Alex Babbitt, that's his name. Shout out Alex Babbitt. And we became quick friends, and we met this woman, and she was like, "Hey, I'm going to this all black open mic in Harlem. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Let's go do this." And they're like, "You're gonna be the only white people there." I'm like, "Let's go." So we go, and it's an all black club called, I think it's called Chocolate. It was in Harlem. I think it's still there.
Apropos.
And dude, and I'm getting to the Burr thing. The host was a guy named Smokey, and he was awesome. And after we bombed like you couldn't imagine.
Oh, I can only imagine.
But it was so much fun, to the point where I went back there every week. And I went back so much that Smokey and whoever they started referring to me as White Boy Bobby.
Yeah.
I had so much fun, and it really taught me a lot about performance and that type of crowd.
Right.
Chocolat.
Did you find it?
That
Yeah. They definitely did it up a little bit. Is that in Harlem?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
Chocolat in Harlem.
it. Yep, that's it.
Wow.
Definitely didn't look that nice back then.
There's no way they're still doing stand up there.
Who knows?
Go to the events page, maybe. But Smokey, the host, actually used to tour with Burr, and because I brought something up about Bill Burr, and he was like, "Yeah, I actually used to tour with them all the time," and yeah.
That's cool
Vibes.
shit, man.
That's wild. Also, little known fact about me, I've done stand-up comedy
Yeah,
one time.
yeah.
Okay.
It comes full
I would
circle
not
here.
say that it went so well, but you know,
How many
I
times?
enjoyed it.
How many
He
times?
did it once.
Where at?
Well, actually, once that I know
Magooby's.
of.
With a bringer show
I don't know what that
where
means.
you had to bring people in order to get on stage.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But we brought the team and like, you know, maybe, I don't know, let's say there was 15 people. And next thing I know, there was like 35 people that I knew out there. It was pretty funny to me. It was
you do
funny
okay?
to me,
He
but I don't
did.
know if
It was
anybody
like-
else thought it was
It was
funny.
like a story
It was a story.
of like just the whole team in a way, kind of made up. Could you only imagine if like AI helped you could have write it back then? You probably
Couldn't
wouldn't have
imagine it's any better.
I mean, I think it would be. Not that
I
that's
have
probably
a lot of
very that's
questions
probably
on this.
very frowned upon in
Hit
the
me.
comedian.
So
community.
you had a story.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
How did the story go, or what was the outcome?
Did people laugh?
I wasn't there.
It wasn't like you're cracking jokes laughing.
It
You're
was
like
not
like
cracking
like a
jokes. It
little
was a
Fair.
story.
Sometimes silence is golden.
like
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
like a little giggle here and there, just like that was cute.
Okay, but not like a big finisher at the end. That
No.
everyone-
There was a big finisher, at
But
the
it
end,
wasn't
but
like-
it wasn't
like-
it was only funny to our team,
I got it. Okay.
which is funny to me.
I've done Magooby's a few times and it's never gone well. Even though I've been in places where I have murdered, like just done like the whole audience is on their feet laughing. Magooby's
Yeah.
I can never figure
Dude,
out.
when we saw Shane this past week, it was the Friday. Jesus Christ, time flies. That was hilarious.
Was he at Magooby's?
No. CFG Bank down in downtown.
Yeah.
I forget who he brought out first. His name was Brian. I can't remember his last name. Then he brought out Stavi. Then he brought out the guy that's on his podcast. I think Matt something. It's like the Matt and Shane podcast, I believe. And he didn't do as well as the other comics, but it was just
Shane didn't?
No. Matt.
Oh.
The guy they brought out before Shane, and then Shane came out and just nailed it, like crushed everything. I've never seen him live, and that was awesome. I love Tires. I love seeing Shane's other like older material. So good to see him, man. So good to see
We
him.
saw Nate Bargatze about a month back. He was incredible. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Nate.
You know who?
Oh, you don't know who that is.
No, you look like him.
You know. I was going to say that. You know the George Washington bit from SNL? No. Oh, you do.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah. You do kind of look.
I mean,
like
I
him.
know who he is.
But
But I mean, I don't know.
Do you see
Yeah,
it?
I understand what you're saying, but like
He
I don't
also-
see. Like I have been to Magooby's a couple times to see magicians, comedians, at the behest of someone else, and it's always like modestly funny. I don't ever think it's like wildly rolling laughter.
Yeah.
I've seen Aziz Ansari. I don't think it's wildly rolling laughter. I think that for the most part, I'm let down.
Fair enough.
I enjoy watching Stavi do his Mondays after Ravens games because that's the funniest shit in the world to me. But like watching his stand up just doesn't hit. And
I'm a believer that there are the comedians that you have to see live in order to enjoy them, and then there's the ones that you can watch on Netflix that do just as good at a job. That's
You know who I really like? Tom Segura.
I love Tom Segura.
I love Tom. His wife.
seen it.
I watch. I don't know if you watch Your Mom's House.
I watch clips. I don't.
God, I love. Dude, I watch that shit like it's TV.
something to like comedians that's like different styles. Like Kevin Hart live is funny.
Well, Kevin Hart, I feel like is
He's
like
a performer.
yeah, but then you also look at like, I think Tom and Bert are like different than what Kevin Hart would be. You look at Chappelle. Chappelle's like entire act, I would say, is way different than anybody else. It's like there's jokes, but then it also gets like in a way like philosophical and like makes you think and like all these other things, which is really cool. And then it'll come back to some crazy ass joke punchline. You look
I feel
at
like that's how Adam Sandler is from time to time.
You look at Theo Von, and Theo Von is very like off the cusp, like random shit. Like, not that it doesn't make sense, but it's so randomly funny in a way. I don't know how to explain it.
Yes, every comedian has like the ones that are successful has their own flavor, which makes them good.
Yeah.
Which like, and it doesn't mean it always translates to a live. Like if you watch, okay, this is come full circle, going back to chocolate.
Chocolat.
So one of the things I learned there was the difference between, and people are going to think this is racist, but it's not. The difference between like a white audience and a black audience. Black audiences like to be entertained. And if you don't entertain, they will boo your ass and get you off the stage very quickly.
Yeah.
White people are very polite.
Yeah.
Like, ha, 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 ha. Right?
That might be the funniest thing.
So one thing I learned at doing that mic, and I remember Smokey and I would talk about this, was it's like, when in doubt, hump the chair, right? Going to Kevin Hart, there is it's like his third album. It's all about how he can do like 100 different sex positions in 30 seconds, and it's him humping a chair. He's a performer.
That's funny.
He knows how to get people to laugh. Like that's a performance. But then
I
you
feel
have
like
the one-liners.
I feel like you could associate that to our industry so much. Like
Humping chairs.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I genuinely
To real
think you
estate?
could. Like I'll tell you, it doesn't happen as much anymore. And I think that this is a dynamic of like literal generational shift. But let's just go back 10 years in real estate. Pre-COVID, baby agent Mike just hanging out, trying to show houses. I would say 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 10. Maybe I was overestimating. 1 out of 10 houses would have candy on the counter. Like legitimate candy on the counter. And I'll never forget there was a time that someone had like Halloween candy on the counter. And I took a Twix. And the little package, if you remember, they stopped making like the double Twix for Halloween. They make like a little single one Twix. And the package was labeled like left Twix. And I ate it and I put it on their chalkboard. And I said, I have his other half. And I left it. And I don't know what the sellers thought of it, but I think that that's hilarious. And I know that when I have that environment, when I'm on a showing with a client, they're like, you're really going to take the candy? And I'm like, well, they didn't leave it here for their dog, right? Like it's out here for a reason. And so I think that it makes the whole experience more comfortable for a buyer that's showing a property when you know, they say, can I go to the bathroom? And you go, yeah, it's your house. Right? Like if you need to turn the air conditioning on just to see if it works, it's your house.
In the house that they're viewing.
In the house that you're showing, right?
It's your house.
Same thing for me. Like when I see candy, I grab it. And I tell people like, I'm going to take candy because they left it out for us. This is our house. And people think it's a little weird. And maybe there's some sellers that don't love that, but sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Don't put candy out.
Right, exactly. But I think it changes the environment and the experience for my client. And the point that you can make is if you've ever been in a home where the seller is home, or even if you were like a delivery guy and you were delivering a TV, right? You put on your little like slippers and you do the thing to be like proper. Then you carry the TV in and you're all real careful with the stuff. But when it's at your house or when there's nobody home, you just kind of like carry it in, put it down, do what you want to do, rip it open, blah, 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 blah. As long as you clean up, nobody cares. But as soon as the seller is home, the owner is standing there watching you, everybody walks around like this.
Yeah.
Like
when a seller,
it's not like walking around a house. It's like all of a sudden they're like, oh God, can I open this door? Right? Like, but when they're not home, it's a totally different experience. And I think that when people are working with me versus when they're working with another agent, it's a totally different experience because the show that I put on as compared to another agent. So I can understand from a comedian standpoint, it would be different too.
I mean, it makes sense. You're putting on a performance.
I guess.
So
Makes sense.
So now that I don't know, when's the last time you did comedy?
Long time ago. So I moved to Hawaii. And
Damn.
Jesus.
You've been everywhere.
Yeah, a little bit. Moved to Hawaii. My wife's in the Navy, and I tried doing it out there. Didn't do well, and also I just didn't feel like redoing the whole open mic thing. I ended up getting I got into sales really hard, which this goes into the whole what I do now. But I got into sales. I was selling gym memberships. I moved over to selling timeshare to make more money, and they had a position there called it was a sales presenter. So you weren't a one-on-one timeshare salesperson. You were getting in front of all the tourists and doing this 45-minute monologue. And I auditioned for it, and I got the role. And so then I got to do this 45-minute selling presentation as a comedy, however I wanted to do it, as long as I hit the main points. And I did that for like 2-3 years. And I got to basically make my own comedy show for 45
So you
minutes.
basically got paid.
I got paid
to do comedy.
It was the coolest thing
It's
ever.
like a professional.
It was like, and that led me to where I am now. But it was like this realization of, this thing that I really enjoy doing, that I realize I'm not going to be an actor, I'm not going to be a comedian. I can get paid doing this, but in a different world that no one told me about.
Where were you doing that at?
Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Hawaii and
So
Waikiki.
I'm going to Vegas
I've been there.
in a month.
One time.
Going to Vegas in a month, and one of my friends, they're staying at a different hotel than us, I believe. And they got like some sort of deal, but the deal is
You have to go to a presentation.
the second morning. Well, I don't say the second morning, but I guess the first morning that we're there. So we'll fly in, go out that night, sleep.
Oh, you have to do it?
I don't. One
Okay.
of my friends does.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking how painfully hungover you're going to be sitting through this 45-minute presentation about a timeshare in Vegas. Did you ever run into stuff like that? Just like people like...
Oh, all day long, man. I mean, what I tell people who are especially in sales, I go, if you want to become good at sales, go sell timeshare for 6 months at a minimum. Because I can't think of any other industry or product where when someone meets you, they are at a less than 0% of wanting to be around you. So for instance, if you go to buy a car, or if you're looking at a car, there's an interest somewhere.
Yeah.
You're like, maybe in 2 years I'll buy a car. Maybe not, who knows? But there's something. If you're buying a house, maybe we want a house. There's interest there to buy the house. Timeshare, nobody wants it. You don't go to Vegas or Hawaii.
How often would you even sell one?
If you could do it one a week, you were doing well.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo!
And so when you met someone, right, you're meeting them cold because what they're called a marketer would bring them in.
Yeah.
I'd be meeting you folks down in the lobby. You're hungover. You just spent 10 grand to come to Hawaii. All you want is a Mai Tai. And here comes the scammy timeshare salesman guy. And so you guys are at like negative 1,000.
Let me tell you,
can only
there are
imagine.
certain people. There are people in this world that I say, if you can't sell to that person, you should quit your job. And I still think they would buy a timeshare. I can think of these people on the top of my brain right now where if they walked in, I'd be like, oh my God, this is going to be so stupid. And my wife would walk in and she'd be like, well, we should be nice. Right? As one of the only people that actually listen to this podcast, she's going to be like, I don't do that. Yes, you do. Right? But she'll say like, oh, we should be nice. And I'll go, oh. Right? But then I have one friend who I'm like, by the end of the timeshare, he'll be like, hey, bro, did you see this? Like, we should do this. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. I literally can't. Good luck.
I would have had fun
good
with you.
luck?
I would have had fun with you on the table.
Oh my God.
It's not me that's doing it. It's one of my friends.
You should go.
I don't know. Why would I want to go?
You might want to buy a timeshare.
I definitely do not. Not in Vegas.
Who wants to buy
Let
a
me
timeshare?
say this, because I was good at it for a reason. It makes sense if it makes sense. And this is why I didn't sell as much as I could. There are definitely some really, really shitty salespeople out there. My whole thing was the program that we sold worked really well if you actually like to travel, and I could justify it through a financial breakdown and through emotion if you want, but from a logical standpoint. So it makes sense if you like to travel.
Yeah.
If based on the program.
Interesting.
If you like to travel.
And so
what you're
out-
saying is you don't like to travel.
I'm not going to a timeshare in Vegas.
But that's what you're telling your friends.
No, that is not.
You don't like to travel.
I'll just go there for emotional support and take pictures of him hungover as shit in the chair.
For Christian's future wife, he doesn't like to travel.
I think
not
Vegas
true.
marks the spot
I think
on that
Vegas
one.
is one of the few places in the country where you're not allowed to have, or no, you are allowed to have alcohol going into it.
Oh,
Into
really?
your
That's like a
timeshare
thing?
presentation.
I think Vegas. I think that's accurate. Look, don't quote me on that. I just remember that being a thing with Vegas.
All right, so Christian's gonna come back with a timeshare. So anybody, mark my words, anybody that wants to go to Vegas in the next 6 or 12 months, hit Christian up in like 6 weeks.
We'll give you some points.
It's gonna be great. He'll give you at least one weekend a month, 6 weeks a year. Anyway, you were timeshare sales in Hawaii.
Yep.
And then you came back to Baltimore with your wife, I imagine.
Yep.
Okay. And then what made you get into coaching and counseling teens and young adults?
So was killing it, doing the timeshare stuff, loving it. I got hired by what is now Hilton to launch a $25 million sales floor. Things were going fantastic. And then this wonderful little worldwide thing called COVID happened and the whole island shut down. That whole industry shut down.
You were there during COVID.
Yeah, it was absolute hell.
I can only imagine. I've heard stories.
It was not good.
Yeah.
And people were always surprised by that. It's like, oh, it's Hawaii. It's like, no, the governor at the time was a straight up dictator. Like if you were at the beach, if you weren't physically in motion, they would give you tickets.
Like you couldn't relax at the beach.
You couldn't lay on the beach.
You couldn't lay on the beach. You could walk the beach. You could go in the water.
Yep.
You could run. You could walk the
But
dog.
if you laid on the beach, you would get a ticket.
Like how much was the ticket?
I don't remember, but it was,
Enough to be upset?
well, you shouldn't be getting a ticket for laying
Well,
down
no, I
outside.
agree 100%. I agree. That was a dumb question.
Yeah. So we moved back here. My wife's enlistment was coming to an end.
Standing. I like standing.
It's all good. We moved back here. I got there's no timeshare in Baltimore, so I got a job in the staffing industry. Was doing incredibly well there. I was, $1 million club, sent to Cancun, did all that cool stuff. Then the Key Bridge fell, and I live right next to the Key Bridge. And so the Key Bridge collapsed, and my wife and I were using that bridge every day to go to work. Our commutes tripled overnight from 25 minutes to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Went to my boss, and I was like, dude, I need to work remote or something. He wasn't willing to work with me. So I quit, started my own consulting company. I'd been doing sales training at the time. That slowly became sales consulting. That led me to doing mock interviews at Kenwood High School. I was doing mock interviews, and this was earlier this year, and 2025. I was saying the same thing over and over to all these kids, giving the same suggestions, same advice, because I worked in staffing, so I know what hiring managers care about. I know what, I know how to present yourself, all that stuff. And I decided I was going to start making some social media content for hopefully one or two kids could see it. And I had, to my surprise, the video that I made went crazy viral.
Is this on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok?
Instagram and TikTok. Yep. YouTube had never hit for some reason. So I made this video. It's called How a Teenager Answers a Question. Tell me about yourself. And it took off on both platforms. And then every video I kept doing after that was taking off. 4 million views, 2 million views. And I was growing followers like crazy. And I started getting a lot of comments, and I started getting DMs with a lot of questions and all this stuff. And I started really going, why is this a thing? What am I touching on here? Why is this popular? And I was getting all these questions. How do I answer this? How do I do that? I have my first interview coming up. How do I prepare? And it just kind of naturally happened where I was looking at the market, if you will. And I was saying the market is clearly saying something. I'm going to start going in this direction. And it's also really cool because the advice that I was giving, I started getting all these really great comments, which are on my Instagram. It's under one of my highlights. And it was all like, hey man, watched your video, got the job. Hey man, watched your video, had all the confidence in the world. I was like, oh shit, this is really cool. I'm on to something here. So I just was like, I'm going all in on this thing, and it's been great. Did a keynote presentation for 400 members of Baltimore County Public Schools last week around the data that I found. So yeah, it's like I fell into it, was not planning it. I have no HR background. I have no
That's cool, dude.
No bachelor's degree in whatever that would be. It's just like I'm just a guy who sells things and knows how to talk, and then knows what hiring managers like, and it connects for some reason.
Was this the one that had
that's him
a shit ton of Wow.
And
over 200,000 likes, man. That's awesome.
So that video, and I've actually done that twice on the public feed and then on what's called trial reels, which you won't have access to.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Yeah, so that one went viral as well.
Damn.
But that video has 150,000 shares. So 150,000 people sent that to somebody else, and it has 100,000 saves. So 100,000 people saved that saying, I need this. And that's when I was like, man, this is some high valuable stuff that people really want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's vibes. I think the crazy thing is people just don't have, and we talked about this a little bit last time I was on the podcast, people don't have some basic I don't know what you want to call it, but adulting skill. And I think it's a little bit of generational pain. So we went from generations that were kicking you out of the house, go get a job, to generations that were no, I want to take care of Johnny so that he can focus on his school. And then now we have a generation of parents that don't have any concept, but at the same time, the kids are looking for more growth. They want opportunity. They want money. They want the opportunity to buy the things, right? Like keeping up with the Joneses. So the way to do that is get a job, and then they don't know how. And I was at a family function the other day, and my cousin was like, oh yeah, I've applied to so many jobs. I haven't gotten, the opportunity to interview or whatever it was. And I just said, hey, have you called?
Yeah.
Right? I think there's so many very, very simple things that people, it's nothing personal. They just don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And what would be, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think the school system or there's no, I don't want to say adulting class, but for lack of a better term, I don't think a lot of these things are hit on enough when you're going through school. At least for me, when I was going to school, like I graduated high school in 2014, but like I took an accounting class. I took maybe like a wood shop class, like all these just like random, like other random things. But like in terms of communication, my communication, I'd say really came from getting into real estate. I'm now 28, it'll be 29 in December. I got into real estate at 24, 25, you know, and that's where a lot of these like real world skills like came from, and like understanding communication, knowing how to communicate and all these things.
But that's like way advanced for some of these kids. I'm talking like the basic, like
But
literally.
I can touch on all of that because I know what you guys are saying. So, okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First, some schools, yes, they are teaching that stuff. Like Kenwood, they do mock interviews, they teach this stuff.
Okay.
They do a very good job. The reason why I made, it actually wasn't even that video. I made a just a written post that did pretty well. It was all around leave your full address off your resume, because all these kids had their full address on the resume. And I went up to one of the teachers. I said, why are the kids doing this? Like, well, that's how we teach them. And I was like, you realize this is a safety concern. Like, no one needs to know where these kids live. All they need is their city and state. And they're like, oh, I never even thought about that. So what I realized was the people that are teaching this isn't their world.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't know what you don't know. So there's that. They're trying, but they don't know what they don't know. 2, parents. You talked about something great earlier about the way the parents are today. There's a lot of parents do a great job at trying to teach their kids this stuff, but there's a lot of parents that either A, don't know, or B, they think it's not their responsibility. And I know that because, I can go on this one.
Damn.
Because all of my videos are for the parents. None of my videos are for the kid, because I know most of these kids aren't actively seeking what I'm talking about. As I said on my keynote the other day, when I was in high school, I didn't care about this. I cared about finding a girl to kiss. I didn't care about, like, how do I talk about myself, right?
Right.
So they're not looking for me. Thankfully, TikTok, which is has more of the teenager demographic, pushes my videos to them so they see it and they like it, right? But my videos are for the parents, because not even my belief, it is the parents' job to guide and mentor their kids on all this stuff. A lot of parents fight me on that. And when I say a lot, I mean like maybe 10%, because they're like, you should be making these videos straight for the kids. And I'm like, no, because they don't care. It's your job to show them this. It's your job to mentor. It's not my job to do this. It's not the school's job. It's not the government. It's your job as a parent. That's the second problem. The third one, which I blanked on that, of all the different issues, but I'm sure it'll come to me at some point.
And it's kind of crazy because you think it's such a big thing, right? You spent your entire life learning how to do 2 + 2 and how to make a wooden house and how to sew in home ec class, right? Like, there's so many things that we learn in school, and then we go to get a job, and our first job is oftentimes like, at Quiznos or over at, Wicked Sisters, or at some restaurant or like some contracting company that needs a social media person, and you're young and they just assume that you know. And then it doesn't really like reward the hard work that you've done because you don't even value it, right? So what, to me, young people need to hear is they need to hear that, hey, you might have gotten that job, but what if you could get a better job? What if you could make more money? What if you just looked at your average sale? So let's just say you're working at Qdoba and you're making an average sale of $15. If you went and took that same exact job at a higher paying opportunity, but would they hire you? And that's where like the difference in skill can really change. I'll tell you, I never got a job opportunity. I didn't even get a real estate opportunity without asking twice.
You help me remember what the third thing was. Your phone, social media. That's the other thing that's hurting the kids today, is because it's an entire generation where there are, I've heard these stories where there's like high school relationships where they're in the classroom next to each other and the only way they communicate is through Snapchat.
Yeah.
So the thing that they're on all day long has hurt them
Right.
in terms of soft skills and just being able to communicate. And so that in itself is hurting them because they just forgot how to be a human being. And not even forgot because they didn't know in the first place. They just weren't put in those situations the way we were growing up where they're kind of forced to learn that stuff,
Right.
you know?
It's no surprise that the top 1% of America has XYZ percentage of money more than the bottom 50%. You know, whatever that number is, however you lay out those numbers in today's market, it's no surprise because they're differentiating themselves from what everyone else is doing. And I think what our youth does not have enough of is opportunity to learn that differentiation as a skill.
So one thing that's really cool though, you hear this thing where kids don't want to work today. Kids don't want to work. I can actually say from, if you go into all my comments, like on TikTok and all that, they do want to work and they want opportunities and they want to do really cool stuff and they want to make good money. They just don't want to work for shitty people.
Yeah.
And they want,
that's interesting.
And they don't want the same. And this is I really want to work with Mike Rowe because he's talking about getting people in the trades, right?
Yeah.
He wants to increase it, which I think is the solution. But it is my belief that where we've screwed up is we've made the trades boring. So when someone thinks of electrician, they just think of the guy or gal who shows up to mom or dad's house and just fixes the socket, goes home,
Right.
and that's it. And kids today don't care about, oh, you can make a good living and make six figures. Like that doesn't resonate anymore.
Or something that's silly. And you tapped on electrician. So like, huge shout out to my brother. My brother's been an electrician longer than I've been in real estate. He's grown in his knowledge. I've seen him work on, let's say, 3 or 4 big jobs. Like we're talking complete gut renovation, adding lines, doing major electrical change, not just outlets, right? And so he amazes me with the knowledge that he has. Something that seems really silly to you and I, he realizes it's this because of that. It's all the knowledge. It's the 20 years of knowledge that allow him to do the job in 20 minutes. You're paying for the 20 years of knowledge. That's why it's a good income. But what we see is, oh, you just changed an outlet and you get paid and you go home. But what he sees is challenge and opportunity and like brain activity. And it's fun for him because he's a numbers guy. Like he likes math. He likes to think about how things work. When we were kids, he would like take radios apart and try and put it back together.
I was about to ask you what got him into it. So he already had an interest for breaking things apart.
Kind of.
Okay. So what I've learned with teenagers and young adults is they look at electrician as boring.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, there might be the few people like I like taking stuff apart. They already have that innate.
Right.
What I think the gap is, and I would like, once again would love to work with Mike Rowe on this because I think
Shout out to Mike Rowe.
Come on, Mike, you're local.
Let's go.
I'm
gonna message him right now.
I've hit him up. He has not responded.
No, we're gonna message him right now. Go ahead.
I think what's missing is what's bridging the gap of interest for them. And I use this as an example. I think if we can figure out what, if there's a senior in high school, like what really interests that person. And I'll give you an example. Let's say they're at like a football game and they're just amazed by the light spectacle and the pyrotechnics, whatever that is. If we reverse engineer that and go, you really like that? Okay, let's reverse engineer what it takes to become a pyrotechnic person for a football game. You need to become an electrician first. And we start with the interest and then we back up so they can start seeing, oh, this is what I need to do to become that thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned working with a lot of these kids is like, that gets them excited about the quote unquote boring jobs.
Right.
We're selling it to them the way it was in the 80s. You get a really good career.
Yeah.
You make six figures. You're home by 6 o'clock.
I would agree because like when I was going through school, I feel like that was something that was like, I don't say push, but like, again, kind of like the idea that we had worked around, right? Like you make a really good career, you want to have a retirement and the great career is all important, right? But like, what the fuck does that mean to me? I'm 16, 17, 8 years old. I don't even know what I want to do tomorrow.
And in today's world, these same kids are looking at kids their age making $1 million online.
Right.
So they're going, it's not clicking.
Right.
They're going, well, what do you mean I can make 75 grand? That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Like when I can just do this stuff online and make more money, even though it's really difficult, there's a huge gap. So I'm going, let's figure out what excites you and then what's going to take you to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting because I even think we've stigmatized the vision of what a electrician, plumber, mechanical contractor looks like, right? Like one of our favorite contractors is a plumber. He's got a beautiful truck. He keeps it immaculately clean. Now his clothes are dirty because he's crawling around on the floor sometimes, or he's in a crawl space or whatever, but he's always wearing something that's branded to his business. He's very proud of what he does. He's got a lot of appreciation for who we are as clients. And when I see him, I love talking with him about where are you traveling to next? What are you doing with your family? And I don't think that we sell that enough to young people because it's more attractive. You mentioned being a recruiter. Recruiters can make upwards of like a ton of money. I don't know how much that is, but a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But at the onset, they're just a college graduate making a salary, right? But yet it's not as sexy as the plumber who just got out of, I guess, trade school, making probably more than the college graduate that's starting out as a recruiter.
Right.
And the upward potential might be greater, but the work might be twice as hard. Whereas you can get into something that pays really well, that's a handsome job, that has real life skills. And more than that, connectivity to other industries of real life skill that can take you farther with a lot less like stress. No offense to anybody, but these industries, real estate, recruiting, staffing, these industries have high upside, but a very low downside. And it's very, very, very hard. The trades, they've got a pretty good upside, better than average. And it doesn't take a lot to get there. You just keep working, get paid more over time. And I think that's a great way for people to make money.
Mike Rowe talks about this all the time. There's I don't know if it's unemployment rate or whatever, where there's so many jobs available right now in the trades where if you went into it, you're going to get hired. And I've had parents reach out to me on Instagram saying, hey, my son's applied to 10 jobs. This happened in Fort Mill, South Carolina, actually. This mom reached out to me. My son's applied to 10 jobs. He hasn't heard anything. So I was like, let's hop on a phone call. Got on a phone call with the mom. And they live in an area where it's like you got your Costco's and like and that's where he was applying. I said, well, let's change this up. Like, what is your son into? Well, he likes wood cutting. I'm like, is he interested in like carpentry or any that? He's thought about it, but we haven't talked anymore. I said, look, I'm telling you this right now because of the way the world is. You can call 10 contractors right now. Tell them, hey, I'm an 18-year-old, man who likes this. I want to learn how to do it. They'll hire you.
Yeah,
they'll hire you, and you go into it now. You're doing something you enjoy. That's what I'm getting at. You're passionate about it. You learn it, and then you're in a world now where by the time you're 23, 24, 25, you can actually turn into a business where you're making millions of dollars.
Right.
Because it's more possible now than ever before. But I'm going to keep going back to the interest part of it.
Do you think these parents have, like going to that specific situation, like that person's applied for 10 jobs, haven't gotten anything. Do you think the parents have a impact on that? Or like, hey kid, you're going to go this way and you're going to apply to this rather than go down that route?
This mom specifically,
and maybe it doesn't have to be that, but like, just kind of
she just didn't know.
Okay.
And that's the other thing.
Because another thing,
you don't know.
The other thing going back to like, the parents kind of keeping you like in the house, like, oh no, like we'll help you, like all these things. It's like, well, what if that kid, went to apply for that contract or found out he didn't like it and then went to apply for another one and didn't like that. And then he's learning all these skills, but also knowing like what fulfills him, learns more about himself and can go be happy and enjoy the life, get a good career. I feel like it's part of that learning process. And I was just curious again to see if like the parents had like, I don't know, say like a funnel, but like, hey kid, you're going to go this way and apply here rather than.
I think the parents that.
And I would assume it's all with good heart, right? Like it's not, there's no ill intent at all.
She was just like, oh, I never thought of that.
Well, right.
It was like, I never thought of that because she's a mom and she's got 1,000 things going on. And a lot of people, you said something earlier about taking initiative, right? Kate and I said this on our podcast here, which was there might be like no jobs out there, but there are actually more jobs than you know about. You just have to go out there and create them and people will pay you money. You just have to show it to them. So like for that mom, I was like, just go to a place, tell him you're interested, tell him he's interested, make him do it. You can't do it as a parent. That's the other problem is parents are doing everything for the kids. Like make the kid go and fail, but also teach him how to say it. Have him go there and say, I don't know if you're hiring, but would you take an 18-year-old kid who's willing to learn? And they'll probably say, yeah. You have to create the opportunity for yourself.
It's this weird like reverse nepotism, right? The parents are saying, oh, you should get a job at Chick-fil-A. Well, why don't you get a job at Chick-fil-A, mom? Right? Like, that's the experience that I think so many people have. I think we had it in our family too, right? Like mom comes along and says, hey, you should do this. And it's like, okay, well, you know, what if I don't want to, right? Or they get the job at Chick-fil-A and then they're just like a shitty ass employee because the manager hates them. They hate the manager. They hate the experience, the whole thing. They're just like the entire time is negative experience. And I feel like it's a lot of parents that are trying to lead their kid. They're trying to help with good faith, but they're not asking questions. And that's something that we're not trained on. Ask questions. Ask questions.
Well, I think in that situation, it's like, hey, you got to get a job. Which place do you want to work at? Chick-fil-A. Okay. But then it's not just, you're just going to go work at Chick-fil-A. Let's talk about what are the parts of this job you enjoyed? What's part of this parts of the jobs you didn't like? What are you struggling with? And then just use it as an evolutionary step. But
or like, hey, you're going to go apply for a job at Chick-fil-A. What if you just talk to your kid? Like, what do you want to do? Oh, anything. Well, but I mean, there's a lot of jobs, right? Like, do you want to sweep the floors? Do you want to work the drive-through line? Like, because even going into that first interview, and this is where my cousin was looking for a job the other day, and I'm like, well, have you done anything? And it's funny because I have connections in different markets, and so I reached out to a couple of people in different market where they are going to be living, and I said, hey, would you have a use for someone? And my friend said, do they have a social media background? Because their company is looking to hire social media. And I said, I wouldn't hire her for that. And she said, well, unfortunately, like I can't really be of help, but have you thought about Nextdoor? Have you thought about Facebook Marketplace? Have you thought about, just getting into the community organizations? Because there's a lot of people that just need day-to-day labor. And my cousin's like, well, I've applied to 30 jobs. I'm like, yeah, but what else have you done? Right? Like, what can we help you find to stand out from the crowd?
And did you just, and this is the other problem, did you just apply or did you put everything you could into trying to get that job? Because I hear people saying that all the time. I applied to this job, but what did you do? Why? I submitted the application online. Okay, do you know what happens when you apply online? Most people don't know this. Unless your resume matches all the correct keywords, your resume is going to get lost. Well, that hiring manager, how do you know they even looked at it? You have to follow up. It's like, what did you do? People think I'm just going to apply and then that's it. Like you have to take initiative, and that's part of, I don't know if you'll say the problem, but parents don't realize that either. It's like, oh, they need to do that. I think my third or fourth viral video was around the follow-up.
Yeah.
And that was its own.
Well, and it comes back to, you said it earlier, like it's the parents' responsibility to train the kids, right? It's our responsibility to give out information, and in your industry and in ours, like to give out information that engages with people at the right resonating tone? Resonance? Anyway, but it's our responsibility to give out that information to attract them enough that they're going to listen to the people that are around them. I have someone who, this woman gave me her niece's phone number. She goes, this is my niece. Tell her, Aunt Bernice gave you her number and she needs to use you, and I love you and I want you to be her realtor, and tell her that, text her right now. So I texted her right then and I said, Aunt Bernice gave me your number. She told me you need to reach out. You're looking to buy a house. And she didn't respond. And then I reached out again today, and then I'm going to reach out again tonight, and then I'm going to reach out again tomorrow, because until all the parts come together, I can have all the resources in the world. You can have all the resources in the world. But if Aunt Bernice told her to do it, she wouldn't do it. If someone's mom told them to do it, they'd be like, I know, mom, right? But if someone's mom brought you into the fold as a value proposition and said, hey, look, Bobby did a video on this. Did you see it? Which is, I assume, why you're getting so many shares, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah, Instagram, I believe. So my most popular, the demographic is 30 to 65 females. So that's what I'm gathering is it's moms and grandmoms sending it to kids.
And that's exactly what they should get, because when it comes, I can literally hear my mom yelling at my brother right now, right? Like, you need to do this. And my brother would go, I know, mom, right? Just like this resonation like resenting, hating each other kind of thing. But if she could pull someone in and go, hey, look, Bobby sent this. This is really important. It gives him the opportunity to go, and then like pay attention, get a little bit more. But without all the parts moving, you can't teach them. They're not going to care. And mom can't teach them because they're going to resent them. So it's just like this middle ground. I feel like we are in the exact same boat because all people want to do is like click and buy house. Like it's just that simple. And it's just not, right? But I digress. I imagine people can reach out to you if they want to. You've mentioned a couple times that people have hit you up on Instagram directly, right? How would they reach out to you directly?
Go to the Instagram, go to TikTok, DM me, go to my website, helpfrombobby.com. My email's bobby@helpfrombobby.com.
Helpfrombobby.com. That's awesome. Surprising that there's not another Bobby that stole that.
I got it. I got it from anyone else.
What is your Instagram handle?
Bobby Romadka.
Spell it because it's
BOBBY_Romadka, ROMADKA. I think I'm pretty lucky in that if you type in teenager interview tips, I think I'm like the guy that pops up.
Damn, that's always a good thing to pop up with.
Yeah. I haven't checked it recently, but there was a while there where I was the guy.
Are you the guy on AI?
Actually, ChatGPT, it took me like 1,000 tries, but I taught it to make me one of them.
Let's see
if it works.
We're going to do this in real time.
It probably won't.
Chat teenager interview tips coach near me. I'm just super simple, not trying to get any deeper.
Online coaching platforms.
I don't think it gives anybody specific.
Hold on.
Say which coaches.
Which coach should I reach out to for my cousin who is a high school senior in Baltimore County?
Don't hit. Oh, I want you to change to career coach. Because coach could be football.
No.
Oh, college admission. See, it's all. Yep, it's all.
But these are all like big companies.
I feel like you're not going like you're not.
I didn't give the best prompt, to be honest
Just
with
do
you.
this.
But
Which career coach is best for helping my teenager get a job? Because I know there's 3 that will 100% be the first ones that are listed.
Career coaching, Sylvan Learning.
Say, give these coaches by name. So type one more in. Can you give a few examples of coaches by name?
Can you give... These are awful prompts. Don't listen to me.
Or just go to my Instagram.
True.
Yeah, these are terrible prompts, which is part of the problem.
Baltimore career coaching. Ooh.
Come on.
Who's this? Who's this?
I don't know.
She's in Baltimore.
Danielle H. and Rachel Adderson. Michael A. Jennifer S.
On there. Look
These
at
are
that.
made up people. Anyway.
Look at that.
But alas, so people can reach out to you at Bobby Romadka.
Nailed it.
There you go. On Instagram. If you ever need information, you can always go to our website. I'm tongue-tied. It's like Grams on the podcast today. At frankoliverco.com. Under additional resources, you can find the blog and so much more. You can always hit me up on Instagram as I am tracking Mike Rowe, so I'm going to get connected to Mike Rowe, I swear to goodness.
So that whole time you were texting, I thought you were texting him, and I'm like, you got to be shitting.
No, that would be really, really cool if I did. That'd be really cool. No, I just hit him up on Instagram. But you can hit me up on Instagram at michael.frank_____ and Christian at Christian the Deadhead
on Instagram.
Still hasn't changed his Instagram handle. He's
yeah.
so serious.
I've had it forever. I'm not gonna change
goodness.
it.
Christian, when are you going to do a stand-up?
I'm never going to do a stand-up.
Come on.
I am not about that life, dude.
To be continued.
Hey, cricket's all there.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.